Now, Saweetie is somebody who was introduced to us in a wholesome light.
I didn't want to give you boys my number. Girl, stay on, boy. Jack, I call breakfast. What I look like standing on that last corner. I get my own girl, so keep your petty dollars. Mask on my face with your girl duct tape. You can call me a robber. Robber. Did she say robber? And she said robber. And no, you can't stop her. So don't try to do it, because if you try to do it, I will drain your body fluids and I'll chop you into pieces. And I'll eat you like a Reese's, and I'll have your body screaming, yelling like you're an Indian. Sha-la-la-la, boom.
But through many complications in her career, she's now found herself tied to allegations of being a high-end escort. Now, to speed up the timeline from the start of Saweetie's career to where she is now, the main instance where we started to see Saweetie fade into irrelevancy in the music industry and relevancy in other endeavors was her awful breakup with Quavo. Now, one of the ugliest things that came from this breakup was it was alleged that Saweetie actually slept with Offset. Now, this was also said to be the reason that Offset and Quavo no longer see eye to eye. And we still see this being the case even after the death of Takeoff. Now, Saweetie would be seen with other rappers like YG, but she wasn't at the height of her career like when she was with Quavo. Now, Jadon Sancho is essentially like the golden child, right? He was seen as a player who was really going to come and dominate his field. But through complications and distractions in his own life, he hasn't lived up to that potential. And I really wanted to get that explanation out of the way first. But, for those who may watch basketball, it's like being the number one pick and you come into the league and yeah, you might still be playing good, but you're not living up to those expectations. So it's kind of ironic now that we're here talking about Jadon Sancho being in this mess with Saweetie. Now, Jadon Sancho and Saweetie seem to me like they met each other in similar points in their careers. Jadon Sancho hasn't lived up to what people expected of him when it comes to soccer. Saweetie hasn't lived up to what people expected of her when it comes to music, because now she's dibbling and dabbling in other endeavors like we're covering in this video. Now, guys, during the midst of these allegations, I've went and done research on Twitter, and I can actually find people calling out Saweetie for looking like a $4,000 escort all the way back in 2022. And there's also tweets that go back to 2024. Now, as you can see here, Saweetie made a tweet about the whole Nepo baby narrative. And not to bore you with the whole tweet, because I've read it myself, she's basically saying she isn't just where she is because of the whole Nepo baby thing, just to sum it up. And someone named Tony Charles replied and said, your mum was a video vixen and your dad played in the NFL. You tried to prove something by getting out of the mud just to end up as a mediocre rapper who has to escort to keep her career afloat. And also amongst the allegations of her being a high-end escort, she's also been pictured with people who seem to be the people who would be her clients, right? This is someone named Robert Greene who published the infamous book, 48 Laws of Power. She's seen having dinner with him right here in this picture. Now, somebody named Joanna says she was also in my country that same year and invited to a big rich party for nothing. And guess who was the host of that party? Our dictator's first son, who's known as the Black Charlie Sheen, I believe she meant to say. Wow, Saweetie, wow. Now, the woman who's actually exposing Saweetie in today's video is Maybach May. Now, for those who... Now, most of us don't know Maybach May, and to give you guys an introduction, she's essentially a madame. Now, a madame is somebody who owns a brothel, right? She essentially owns the place where she allows escorts to engage in sex work to make a living. That's essentially what Maybach May is in this situation, just to give you a brief understanding of the part she plays and how she connected to Saweetie in the first place. She's basically linking people like Saweetie in this situation, if you believe what Maybach May is accusing Saweetie to be true. Saweetie in this situation, Maybach May would connect somebody like her with high-end clients like, the man who made the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene. Now, she would say, hey, at Saweetie, I see you playing internet games on Beyonce Internet Child. Let me know how you want to play this. I'm either going to receive my money from you or I can start addressing some of them rumors with at TMZ. We spent almost a month in Africa. You should know I wasn't going to let you play me out some money. When? Now, she would show some text messages that appears to be talking about Jadon Sancho, the soccer player. And it says here, she attached a message here that says, Sancho, after you're done paying and getting tattoos of a hole you barely know, Run me my money. She hates her career, so you've come right on time like the trick you are. I just want what you owe me. And then she says, cocaine, witchcraft, and liquor is one hell of a mix. Send me my bread home wrecker at Saweetie. I tried to be nice. Nice don't get you nowhere.
No, hold on. This ain't that type of party. I just came to dance for y'all. That's all.
And for those wondering what she means by Saweetie is a home wrecker, it says right here, Saweetie was in Nigeria in December 2024 in the name of shooting a music video with an Afrobeat artist, but the tea is that she came as an escort to a rich Nigerian businessman. She also got in trouble when the man's wife got to find out they had to send her back to the US ASAP. And she says right here, I want to make one thing clear. I booked her for an appearance to visit the Chelsea Stadium and support the soccer team, as my last part shows. Instead of paying me, she fell in love with the client and told him not to pay me. I was a road manager with her getting her deals. I was solid to this girl. She got what she wanted and never paid me. Simple, I want my money. Now, guys, you can just do a little bit of thinking. Saweetie is not in a place where she's at the pinnacle of her career or even close, right? She's more so being known for stuff like this now and the influencer type of stuff. Why would her being there even really help the Chelsea team? Or, it's not for anything like that. And, her referring to Sancho as a client, we obviously know what's going on here, right? She was sent over there to Sancho as a client, and she's essentially saying this if you can kind of read between the lines. And guys, when she mentions Sancho getting a tattoo, yes, he actually did get a tattoo that Saweetie wanted him to get. And it definitely, for those who are expecting Sancho to, kind of have a, awakening of some sort and kind of get his act together on the soccer field, seeing something like this definitely isn't giving you any hope. Now, guys, amongst all these rumors, Saweetie was also accused of sleeping with Offset, and she actually did respond. She responded by showing her bags and basically insinuating she's heading to Singapore. Although a bunch of people were in her comments saying, why are you not addressing the rumors, or can you address the rumors? She decided to not reply to those tweets under her original post about her going to Singapore. Now, with Saweetie, I'm going to be honest, I kind of knew something was up. Now this being the case is kind of like not really shocking, but like, damn, you're really on that, but with Saweetie, you should really just be concerned when you see that a woman who is introduced to you as a musician is moving more and more away from music, and you're kind of seeing her more of an influencer. When you're seeing that transition, it's going to come with stuff that comes with the influencer stuff. And a lot of those influencers are the women being sent to places like Dubai and stuff like that. But we're also seeing now the musicians kind of are being too, but also we're seeing this when they're not really as focused on the music, so I kind of knew something was up, especially really at the time with the Quavo stuff, because I could kind of understand why she got with Quavo, the whole power couple kind of dynamic, but just seeing how that situation went and then how she went after that, it kind of seemed like, whoa, it don't seem like the path you kind of stray on if you want to take the music serious and whatnot. So yeah, I talked about stuff like this in the past. Actually, it should be on this channel. If you actually go far back, it should be on this channel. I think I talked about female artists. Yeah, I had a video where I talked about female artists. And
you're watching this video, I appreciate you for spending your time here right now. Let's get straight to this video. Now, in a previous video that I made, about music and the culture of music and where music is going, I recently mentioned that when these female artists stop doing their emotes, stop doing all their dances, and stop sexualizing themselves, then people will not care. And here today, y'all, we have a prime example. You can't do your emotes all the way to the, like the real music is gonna show at the end of the day. So here we have Coil Ray, all these followers on the gram, all this clout, all these hit records. But then the album comes out and it's only selling 10K the first week. Like I said, if you want to make it as a female artist, you've got to sexualize yourself. Start sexualizing yourself. You know what? If you're listening to this right now, go find you a mirror or something. Start practicing your emotes. Start practicing your dances for when you get to the stage. Start practicing now. Because that's the way for you to get put on. But like I said, if you want substance, if you want people who are going to tune into things like your album, who are going to genuinely support you, you've got to make soulful music with substance. Your body and you sexualizing yourself cannot be the main focus on the main target of your career, because that's eventually going to get boring.
What happens when, you know, you can over-sexualize yourself, you can kind of find yourself in a situation to where they're not taking you in for the music. And, you know, I think Saweetie definitely found herself there. Now she's found herself at the extreme end, if you can say, of that, you know, being a high-end escort. Now they really not taking you serious for your music. You know, they really want to book you for an hour or two. I don't know. It's high-end, so it might be for a day. So, hey, here's what it is, though, man. You guys let me know what you think about this, as crazy as it is. And I'll see you in the next one.